Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Gelb. Basically, you start out with massive amounts of data. You say, how are we going to analyze this? Well, let's fire up a pivot table and see if we can solve this problem.
Okay. Well, if yesterday wasn't bad enough, 5 minutes talking about this esoteric rounding thing, after I finished that up, I kind of was nebulous at the end, saying, oh, you're going to have to rewrite your own algorithm. I said, all right, that can't be that tough to do. We were talking about how to round correctly. If the last significant digit is a 5, in school we were always taught to round that up to the next whole number, but yesterday, go ahead and watch yesterday's podcast for the painful details, I showed how that actually introduces a bit of bias. And the ASTM E29 rule says that if that last digit is a 5, you should round towards the even the other times down, and they make it round to the even number. So a little bit of tweaking to that VBA code that I wrote yesterday. Remember I said yesterday the VBA round function rounds correctly, but only when the precision is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, not when it's negative. So I wrote a little function here called banker round, and it says, hey, we're going to get two arguments, the number we want to round and the precision. The first thing I check to do is see if the precision is greater than or equal to 0, and at that point I just turn it over to Microsoft and let them use the VBA round function, which does it correctly. Otherwise, that's when I need to write my own code. I change the number by basically making it smaller. So if we ask for precision of -1, 10 to the -1 is the same as 0.1. I multiply that number by 0.1, allow Microsoft to do the round using the precision of 0, and then finally divide by the 0.1 to get it back to the original number. Let's take a look at the results here. I set up a couple of different test cases. Here's 5.15 and 5.25 rounding to one decimal place, and both of those round to 5.2. So the 5.15 is rounding up towards the even number. The 5.25 is rounding down towards the even number. Here 5.1515 and 5.1525, those both round to the even number 5.152. Now, the thing I had yesterday, just using the VBA round function, would work. Here are the real tests where we have 5 and 15 and rounding that to the nearest 10. Well, in school, 5 would round up to 10. That's the way that I learned. But the banker's round says that 5 is going to round towards the even digit. So the choices are either 0, 0 or 1, 0. The 0 in 0, 0 is winning. Now 15, though, rounds up towards the even digit. Again, the choices are round to 10 or round to 20. Because 20 is the even digit, the 2, it rounds towards the 20. And then here, 50 and 150, rounding to the -2, in other words, to the nearest 100. The 50 rounds down to 0, 150 rounds up to 200. So there you have it, a simple little function. Not many lines of code, although it certainly runs slower than the real round function, particularly when you have a million of these. But, if you need to do this ASTM E29 rounding, adding this function to your project would allow that to happen. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another Netcast from Mr. Excel. Well,
thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another Netcast from Mr. Excel.